So welcome to another episode of Should I Bother? Today is
a big day.
Big day, massive milestone in that you'll see we've never done something like this. We're in a studio for the first time ever. We're joined by a guest for the first time ever. We're joined here by Kegs. You can find him on any platform as Kegs97, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, etc. Also has his own podcast, the Kegs Podcast. Yeah, so just look for Kegs, you'll find that. And this is episode 20. So yeah, we're like milestones all around and we're really looking forward to this. So
yeah, and Kegs recently qualified as a breathwork facilitator. So he's here to tell us a bit about it today and to take us through a breathwork experience or class.
Yeah, ceremony, session, whatever you want to call it.
I like the word ceremony tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to get into it and chat about it a little bit and just try figure out, should I bother?
Sounds good.
yeah, so like someone described to us as people come to Bali and they get like addicted to healing. So we're like, okay, what does that mean? And then people started talking about breath work. So there's a lot of people, we were chatting to our neighbour now, Pierce, and he was like, oh, people are big into breath work. Yeah. Hadn't a clue what it was. Still don't really have a clue what it was. But then we were chatting to someone who said that you facilitated it for them recently. And it was like this
we heard really
psychedelic kind of experience in a way for some people and whatever. So
it can be,
yeah.
So we wanted to just try that out and see what the crack is, especially because it seems to be kind of Bali in itself a hub for healing. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
massively.
Yeah.
Hugely.
So like I don't know like where to really start with it. I mean like
But let's start with what is it?
Yeah, what is it?
Because
Okay, yeah.
I had never heard of it before we came to Bali. So
Okay,
I'd say
yeah.
there's a lot of people that don't know what it is.
So what breathwork is?
Yeah.
So like I'll start with how I started with breathwork. So I came to
Yeah.
Bali and I had heard the word breathwork before, but I just thought it was some form of meditation. Didn't really think much into it. I've heard of Wim Hof breathing, which is on YouTube, which I had tried myself, which is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not, it's a completely different type of breathwork than the one that I am doing now and the ones that I've been doing because it's quite short, whereas the ones we do now is like 40 minutes till an hour, like proper intense deep breathing. I suppose I accidentally fell into it. Like I came to Bali and I had the intention that I wanted to just dabble in all this sort of healing work.
Yeah.
And I remember I first came here and I was like riddled with anxiety and all these negative emotions were coming up and I was like, I've just moved to Bali. Why the fuck do I feel like so shit?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And then I realized that from speaking to a lot of different people, a lot of people feel the same when they first arrive to Bali. I feel like the energy of Bali is really heightened. Something to do with the plates or whatever way it is, but the energy is basically really heightened.
Tectonic
plates.
plates.
Something to do with that.
Good geography as well, like fucking nice.
But that makes the energy heightened. So you might, any emotions you feel are actually heightened out here. Nice. And what it does is as well, say any emotions you may have been suppressed and say like back home or whatever, that I think what happened was it brought these negative emotions to the surface to force me into doing the healing work on myself so then I can like release these emotions. So yeah, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to start doing the work. So I think it was like a full moon one night, done this wee like ceremony thing, and then I was like, right, I'm going to go to Ubud. So I went to Ubud and I went to the yoga barn, I went to Pyramids of Chi, done a few different things, and I ended up going to a breathwork session it was called the Conscious Connected Meditation, I think it was called. But I just thought it was a meditation, didn't think it was breathwork. And
that's all the buzzwords, isn't it? Conscious connected meditation. That sounds like Bali summed up.
Literally. See, I done this one and it is a bit different than the breathwork that I do, but I just remember doing it and it's basically really intense breathing. This one was actually in through your nose, whereas mine is through your mouth only. Okay. But it was just intense breathing. And then at the end, I remember it was as if I had met my younger self who was in a lot of pain, and I felt his pain and I was like giving him like a hug sort of. I wasn't like physically you could see this person, but I just like felt like this was going on, and I was like giving him a hug and I was crying my eyes out like hysterically, and he was letting me know how proud he is of me, and it just was such a really like thing. And I didn't realize like this was inner child work. This was stuff that you needed to do.
Yeah.
And then every experience, and I was like, after the breathwork session, I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, that was nuts. And then I just started working with a lot more. So I started doing it maybe like every week or every 2 weeks. And every experience I've had has been completely different. It brings up maybe past traumas that you may not even be aware are there. It makes you have, it made me have awareness on things that happened to me when I was younger that then connected the dots to loads of different patterns that were playing out throughout my whole life. So then I could sort of rewire and stop these patterns from happening again, and then rewire my subconscious mind to sort of changed my narrative now for the way I go on with my life then. A lot of the time as well. So I was just going to what breathwork is sort of.
Yeah.
So the breathwork that I do is sort of breathing in through your mouth, deep into the belly, deep into the chest, and out through your mouth again. And you're doing it for, could be like 25 to maybe 40 minutes, just really depends on the session.
Is there a particular, because I know there's like holotropic.
There's loads of different types.
Is there a particular type that we're going to be doing?
So you're doing the transformational / 3-part breath.
Okay.
One that I do. But yeah, like breathwork. So breathwork, people just think of like, if they only know Wim Hof, they'll just think breathwork is Wim Hof breathing. But it's the same as like breathwork is like exercise. Like there's a million types of exercise. There's like a million types of, well, I don't know if there's a million types of breathwork, but there's lots of types of breathwork. Lots of different styles of yoga. There's lots of different styles of meditating. So there's lots of different styles of breathwork.
Okay.
And yes, you're just breathing like really intensely into your belly, into your chest, out through your mouth. And it's all about how deep that you can go with your breath. And that's the more deeper you go, the more you like don't resist, the more benefits you'll get from it. Loads of different things could happen. So your monkey mind's going to come in. So basically what you're doing is you're starving yourself of like carbon dioxide, but you're inhaling like 2 to 3 times more oxygen. So we have obviously like our monkey brain, and then we have like our sort of like our subconscious brain, and then we have like our soul, or whatever way you want to think of that as well. So if you're starving your body of like carbon dioxide or whatever way it works, whatever way the body works, it basically shuts off the door for the monkey brain. So the monkey brain sort of shuts up, and then it opens the gates to your subconscious brain. So yeah, what could happen is like, say throughout our lives, we may have like a negative experience where we feel like anger or grief or embarrassment or anything like that. Or even, for example, like say you're like a people pleaser and you're trying to please other people, but doesn't align with you, and it actually causes a negative emotion in you for doing that thing or whatever.
Yeah.
That could cause like anger, and especially as like Irish people, I feel like we suppress all of these emotions. We suppress anger, we suppress these emotions. We don't just express them, we don't release them. And with breathwork, then it basically, whatever way the body works, it can target. So these negative emotions are then stored as energies inside us. So it could be stored in your hips, it could be stored in your chest, it could be stored anywhere really. And breathwork could sort of like target these negative trapped emotions, and it could bring it to the surface for you to then release it and let it go. But yeah, it can be, that's a lot of information to be fair.
No, but that sounds so powerful. It sounds intense.
Yeah, it can be intense as fuck.
Yeah.
Like you could experience like, you could be dealing with shit that you didn't even know was there. And it can be quite emotional. Like there's a lot of emotional releases. You could be crying, you could be laughing even, like loads of different things could happen.
Because you've done this for a couple of people so far and done it yourself, like what's been the weirdest reaction you've heard or been around someone having?
Ooh.
Like does laughing happen often? Because I'd rather be laughing than crying, like, to be honest. Like
I've actually, you know what, there's a lot of people I can see going into it and they've never done it before, and they start laughing at the start because their monkey brain's coming in. Their monkey brain's coming in like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is this? Why are you breathing so weirdly? Like, but then like 5 minutes later they're in balls crying because they just then close the monkey brain off and disconnect to
what the fuck
themselves. But
and would you
sorry, no, go ahead.
Would you often or ever see people that are maybe a bit skeptical? Because I definitely am a little bit skeptical purely out of ignorance because I haven't tried it.
Yeah, same, yeah.
And you're the same, I think. But does that happen, that people go to that are a bit like...
I'll give you an example. So on Monday, I went to breathwork with my friend, and he was like so skeptical that has never really done any of these healing sort of stuff before, was getting into it and be like, this isn't going to work for me, like this is a load of shit. He's obviously really dove deep into it, and I think he thought that I was making it up in my own head in a way. And he done it, and he was like, after like, what the fuck just happened? He was crying his eyes out. He let go of resentment towards someone in his life who had passed away. He had met like the person who passed away, and like it was in front of him. Then he started getting clarity on different situations in his life to help him see from a different perspective and help like resolve issues in his life in different situations. And he was just like, how did I just get all that from 45 minutes of breathing? Like, it was not.
And was that the 3-part thing that he was doing?
Yeah, so it wasn't me who was doing it, but it was another guy who was hosting it, who was amazing, by the way. It was probably one of the best breathworks I've done, to be fair. But yeah, it was amazing, to be fair. And after, I was like, so, you know, now he wants to do it every single week. Like, he's just like, I have like so much shit to work through.
I'm really hoping that that's my experience. Because
but no, go in with zero expectations.
Really?
That's what I say to everyone. Go in with zero expectations, because a lot of the time you could go into these and you might not experience anything like mentally, or you might not get any visions, you might not get any downloads or whatever, but you'll be exhausted after, because your body will naturally go to like these negative, maybe trapped energies or maybe different areas that may be in pain or whatever, and it will target them and it will release without you even becoming aware of it. So you might not actually get any during the session, but you would actually have released some of this stuff. A lot of the time as well during the sessions you scream. So you'll be screaming tomorrow with me. So a very powerful way of releasing, and I do it all the time. Now I always said I'm not an angry person. I never get angry. I'm a very chilled out guy, which I am. Yeah. But every single fucking person on this planet has anger trapped inside them without a fucking doubt. And regardless of where it came from, we all have it. And a lot of the time now, whenever I feel anxious or anything like that, like any of those sort of negative emotions are coming up, I'm like, this is coming for a reason, but it's obviously an energy that's been trapped inside me which I need to release. So if I'm feeling anxious, if I'm feeling anxious, say walking in the street or like driving or something, I start doing this where I'm like,
I fucking heard I was in Breathwork, which is a co-working space here. And there's a yoga studio upstairs, and I heard a load of people doing that noise, but like nearly more pronounced of just kind of like a tiger in a way. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is everyone doing upstairs? But maybe it was that. I don't know.
That's a good way to release these trapped emotions. So if you're feeling anxious, do a bit of like volume or like noise work, and make sure it vibrates from your core, so that literally helps vibrate out that energy. And with breathwork, you're screaming. So because you're in a state where energies or emotions can be coming to the surface, they're right at the top. Whenever you scream, you're fucking vibrating them out, so that you're letting that shit go.
But is it like, do you go in with the knowledge of that you start screaming, or is it in kind of an involuntary thing that just sort of happens as a result of breath work?
So it just depends on the breath work that you're doing, but with mine that I do, we do screaming every single time.
I'm buzzing to do that now.
So
I'm kind of distracted. I mean, like,
no, I'll count you down, it won't come out, but there is times where I may spot that you may need to let out sound during it. So I will come up to you personally and I'll make the noise. I'll be like, so you like let out some sound, because I'm aware that you need to let something go here. Yeah. But it just really depends on the person. But you'll be doing a lot of screaming tomorrow, yeah.
That's not. I wasn't expecting that. I've heard of people crying and shit like that as well. So I thought. Yeah. But the whole, like, whenever I was searching for it, there was this whole like psychedelic experience going up again. Like,
so with me, I have experienced things where I have seen memories, I've seen visions, I've seen colours, I've seen shapes. And I suppose with the breath work, sometimes I've heard someone mention this before, don't quote me on this, but I've heard someone say this before, where DMT can be released. And do you know what DMT is?
Yeah.
So DMT is like the chemical in your brain that is released whenever you die. But I've heard in breath work that the DMT can be released, like obviously in a very small amount, which may be a factor. I don't know how true this is, but it may be a factor to maybe seeing this. But yeah, it is powerful. I remember there was one time where I had been doing lots and lots of breath work, and I had really been working through a lot of fucking shit that was inside me that I wasn't even aware of. And I was letting it all go. And then there was one day where I'd done it, and it was a completely different experience. It was like I had done it, and you do breath holds as well. Whenever I was doing the breath hold, my entire body was like vigorously vibrating. It was like every cell in my body was having an orgasm. It was the best feeling I ever felt. It was just pure bliss, pure joy, pure love. And I was like unreal. And this voice came in and was like, this is what it feels like whenever you're living as your higher self. And I was like, fucking hell. So I was like, how the hell do I live my life as the higher self? So obviously you just have to try and do as much work as possible to get to that point.
To get there.
But it was just, but during that there, I was getting loads of like visions in front of me where I was seeing like blue butterflies, blue triangles, just loads of blue. I don't know, I always get blue, I don't know why, but those these shapes were coming in front of my eyes, but obviously my eyes were closed, and it was a really powerful experience. So yeah, maybe that might be a wee bit like psychedelic in a way, I suppose.
That's probably what you saw.
I don't know, I just kept seeing it coming up. So it's like, how, like...
But there is a lot of, obviously I've been doing this for since I came to Bali, so like 5-6 months. So I'm still quite new to it all. Yeah. Like I love it so much. It's changed my life in so many ways. It's made my relationships and everything so much better. Yeah. But I'm still quite new to it. So I'd say that people who may be way more experienced could definitely tap in way more deeper as well.
Yeah.
But do you find then from the first time that you did it versus now that you're able to have a better experience? Because you know what to expect?
I wouldn't say better experience. I wouldn't say, and you have to go with no expectations every single time. No expectations. Okay. Always do not go with expectations to anything. Even plant medicines, like I've worked with like ayahuasca and all that there stuff before. And anytime I've went in with expectations, I haven't got out of the experience of what I would have probably if I went with no expectations. So literally going with no expectations, even going with like lower expectations than what you think. Going going with expectations like this isn't fucking going to work. No, actually, don't do that. That's not a good idea. Don't go with that intention. Do not go with that intention.
But what would you say to someone just asking for a friend who's scared?
Who's scared
for a friend? Yeah.
Like I feel nervous about doing breath work. I think it's because the odd time I would get a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware of like if my heart rate gets too high or if I feel like I'm hyperventilating, I get afraid that I'm going to get a panic attack. So I'm afraid that that's going to be triggered in this setting.
Okay, so you're going into the session with myself, who's trained to do it, to be fair. But you're in a safe environment, and if you do feel like you are maybe going to go into a panic attack, there's different things that we can do. So you can breathe through your nose to give yourself a break and sort of connect back away from the intense breathing. And then there's other things I can do where I can just support you in doing it.
I hope it's like a breathwork boot camp kind of thing. Breathe fucking harder.
Yeah, no, I do try and push you. The more you go deeper, the more benefits you're going to get from it. Do you know what I mean? Like the harder you push yourself and the more you trust yourself. Because it's not just about breathing deep. It's like your monkey brain might even allow you to breathe that deep because you're resistant to it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot about letting go of the resistance. And trying just to breathe as deep as you possibly can.
Okay.
Would you feel really drained then after doing the class?
Because I'd be doing breathwork, but I'm also doing Reiki at the same time.
Right,
and even just after like last night, I was like zonked. Like even my head felt really heavy. And like I feel like as well, because there's a lot of like obviously negative energies come to the surface. Sometimes maybe I made like some of the negative energies might like stick on me and things like, so I really have to be cautious and try and like sage myself and try and cleanse myself. And because last night I done a session last night and I was shattered.
Really? Yeah. 'Cause like all of that kind of stuff now, like Reiki, when we kind of start talking about energy and all that stuff, I just am really skeptical. I think it's kind of like, it feels like the Irish thing as well, where it's like, oh, you fucking cop on. Do you know, that's the way. So I kind of feel a bit like that as well, that I'm like, I just can't really picture that. So I'm hoping to be.
But it's pure lack of experience.
That's the thing, and it's probably ignorance as well. Like, so I don't really know. But
like, see, even myself, like if I had been having this conversation with myself a few years ago, I'd be like, you need fucking checked into the mental hospital. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I just sort of curious. I think the best thing for you to do in these situations is to be curious.
You said about Wim Hof.
Yeah.
We actually have that down as an idea. Someone suggested
to try that another week.
But like, what is that very different from this?
So I've only dabbled in Wim Hof a wee bit actually. So it was sort of like I was getting some benefits from it, but I was like, there's definitely more to this. Like there's something else. And then someone recommended Wim Hof. So I would have just done Wim Hof maybe every morning, but it's like the one on YouTube, I'm not sure about his other ones. He's probably got loads of different types of breathing, but the one on YouTube I done was like 11 minutes in the morning, and I didn't get anything like mad experience or anything from it because I didn't have other breathwork before, but I just remember feeling really like aware and motivated and things after I'd done it. So it's a good way to start your day, if you know what I mean. But
so is that something you do daily then, that you practice it in the morning?
Wim Hof?
Yeah, or just like
I did it before I started breathwork, but every morning now I would, with the mornings I would try and I love doing Reiki on myself. So
how does that work? Because that's kind of like hands all over, but how does that?
It's like basically it's like healing energies coming down through me, but then I obviously can do it myself, and I just be going over all my chakras, and I done Reiki on myself the other day, and I felt a huge block in my throat, and it was so weird because
like a physical block, like
I could physically feel like there was a block. It was the energy was blocked or whatever. And I remember for the past like couple of weeks or like maybe months even, I was really struggling to come on social media and speak like with valuable content, and I didn't understand why, and it was because there was a fucking huge block in my throat, and I'm not even joking. I cleared the block through the Reiki and I felt it like releasing the block, and the next day I was just flat out making content, loads of stuff was just flowing out of me.
That is wild.
It was so good.
But is it like again, this is a skepticism coming out. Is it like a kind of a mental block in a way, and just as a result of doing something you're like, oh, mental block removed, you know?
That's a good question actually.
I know nothing about Reiki. Like for me, it's kind of like someone saying, you know, like the power of Jesus within you. You know,
oh, really?
You're healed. I don't know anything about Reiki. You're literally not touching a person.
Yeah,
or moving energy.
I wouldn't really say it was a mental block. No, Yeah, but suppose I would have, like, a few years ago, I'd have never even, like, thought of anything to do with Reiki. I was like, they're going over your body and not touching you, like, that's a load of shit. But then I had my first experience of someone doing it to me.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Like, I've had, like, just mad energy shifts, and there's even times where I've had, like, out-of-body experiences when someone's doing Reiki to me. And I always feel really amazing after I get it done on myself as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely know whenever you do, like, do the Reiki energy work, you always feel amazing. So that's how I know it sort of works in a way.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing as well, that it sounds like one of those things that it's hard to explain exactly what it is. It's the kind of thing that you need to feel it to believe it, I suppose. You need to feel the benefits to kind of understand what's actually happening.
So I think it's really easy as well to say, like, that's a load of shite when you haven't actually tried it. So, like, that's probably...
Yeah, of course. Like, you can say that about anything without
like,
trying it.
Yeah.
And the thing is as well, with wondering if it's a mental thing or energy, if it has a positive impact, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah, true. Yeah,
Probably not.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
So fucking wise. Okay, we're going to our game. So yeah, we have a game every week. This week, I made the game, so let me just get this up.
Yeah, usually we have a game somehow related to the topic.
Yeah, like this, you'll see what I mean now. When we say related to the topic, very loosely.
Yeah.
Usually
It's just a game.
just by like a word, pretty much. Right? So the game this week is it breath work or is it breath twerk? I was trying to think of a good game till my head hurt, right? So I found an article called The 32 Best Twerking Anthems, right? And I'm going to read the lyrics.
We don't have to twerk.
No, you don't have to twerk. You don't have to twerk. Right, I'm going to read the lyrics.
I need to be bum out.
And you need to guess the name of the song and the artist, right? So you're going to get a point for each. Now, there is one caveat. If specifically Steph, gets a score of 6 or lower, that she has to do a twerk tutorial on Instagram, whether that's a story or right? So that's the... Now, I think you will get 6. I think, like, I'm not big into R&B, but if I didn't know the song, I didn't include it. So I think you should be okay with this, right?
Okay.
Right, ready for number 1?
Yeah.
First up. 10, 10, 20 on yo titties, bitch. 100 deep VIP, no guest list. T-Raw, you don't know who you fucking with. Got my other bitch fucking with my other bitch.
Okay.
Do you know that? Do you know those lyrics?
Oh God, I have no idea.
No?
It really rings a bell.
10, 10, 10, 20 on your titties, bitch.
Oh wait, I
100
think
deep
Is it-
VIP,
is it-
no guest list.
Is it Tiger Rack City?
That's incorrect!
Oh, we need it. Okay, sick. Nice.
Nice, well
So you just
done.
need to know the name of the song.
Name of the song, name of the artist. So you get a point for each.
Okay, fair.
Okay. All right, next song.
You know, it's good.
Yeah, well done. That was really good. I ain't shy, busted wide, cause I been that bitch. I ain't shy, busted wide, cause I been that bitch. Bend it, bust it open, bend it, bust it open. Bend it, bust it open, bend it, bust it open. So this is a twerking anthem. So now I'll give you a hint because I know that's a bit of a hard
Yeah.
one, but you are a big fan of the artist.
Is it Megan Thee Stallion?
Correct. Do you want to take a stab at the... I didn't even ask if you're
Bust
into this
it.
kind of music, so I wasn't sure.
I have no idea. Bust
think
it?
so?
Is that any?
Bust it?
Is that a song?
I don't know, but
Possibly, yeah, that is actually used a lot. No, it's Ride or Die.
Fair.
don't know it.
They came up with a couple of twerking playlists.
All right.
I went to booty workout in the Wanderlust this morning. All these anthems
You
were
should
playing.
know all
You
these.
know all of these. Yeah. 369, damn you
You're
fine.
fine.
Hoping she can sock it to me one more time. And then it's song name, song name, song name, song name. To the
Get
window.
low. Get low.
To the wall. To the wall.
That's called Get Low, isn't it?
It's called Get Low, correct? So you've got
No idea
4
who sings
points.
Flow.
Do you know who sings that?
Is it?
There's 3 people that are in it. If you can name one, so you get a point.
Florida? No, he's not in it, is he?
No. Good guess though.
Is T-Pain in it?
No. I'll give you one more guess.
What's the song again?
Get Low.
369, damn you fine.
Shake to me
One more time.
Get Low.
Get low. Get low.
Oh,
get
here, I
low.
have no idea who sings that.
That was Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, featured the Yin Yang Twins.
I was,
Okay.
I was thinking the Yin Yang Twins.
Oh yeah, well you should have guessed that then. So you fucked up.
Easy to say
So
it
you've
now, I
got
suppose.
4 points. 2 more points, no twerk video. Right, you've got 3 questions left. This is the
You've
fourth
done this
one.
work video with me, okay?
Okay. I'm better at that than this.
Everybody get your motherfucking roll on. I know Shorty and she doesn't want no slow song.
I can't go for you.
I was like, do I rap it or do I think I just say it? Had a man last year. Life goes on. Haven't let the thing loose, girl, in so long. That's it. I can also do the chorus for you as well if that's too difficult.
Yeah, I know that one. I recognise that
I think
one.
you will recognise all these songs when
Yeah.
you hear them. Care for me, care for me. You said you'd care for me, there for me, there for me.
Oh,
Drake.
Yeah, correct.
Drake.
What's the name of the song?
Nice for what?
Oh shit! You just got the
Go
6
on.
points.
Echt.
Fuck, well done, girl. Number 5, and I threw this one in case you didn't have too many points. Tie me up like I'm surprised. Let's role play. I'll wear a disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in front of the garage.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Wet ass pussy.
What?
What else, pussy? Do you want to name the artist to round off the points?
Cardi B.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Cardi B and
Megan Thee
Megan Thee
Stallion.
Stallion. There we are.
My
Yes, you got
fave.
your
I
point.
think the only one I knew.
Yeah, but that's good though. You're fucking in. You're in. And the last one. Booty, 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 rocket everywhere. Booty, 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 rocket everywhere. Booty, 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 rocket everywhere. Rocking everywhere. Rocking everywhere.
I can't deal with you speaking these
I
words.
love how we went to Breathwork, the fucking wet ass pussy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, very loosely related.
So is that song called Booty?
No,
Booty?
I'll give you the first sort of chorus after that is I found you, and then it's song name, which is 3 words.
I know the song, yeah.
Get it together, then bring it back to me.
Is it the Yin Yang Twins? No.
Yin Yang Twins feature, so we'll give you that.
And
Do you know the name of the
DMX?
song? Not DMX.
No, I don't know then.
The other artists are Collie Park and Bubba Sparks.
Oh, we should have known
West
then.
Side, I don't know. The name of the
No
song
idea.
is Miss New Booty.
Oh.
So I found you, Miss
That's
New
you
Booty.
after your booty builder class.
Yeah, that's
There you
true.
are now,
Miss
Miss
New
New Booty
Booty.
over there. Thanks for playing. What was the name of the game again? Is it breath work or is it breath twerk?
Did you go off of that?
Yeah,
that's so good.
That's our game for the week. So, thanks very much for playing, Kegs.
Thanks.
Breathwork or breath twerk?
Yeah, but I was thinking of Missy Elliott, you know, is it working or is it
Yeah,
working?
yeah.
I was trying to think of a good game till my head hurt. That's what I was like, well, maybe there's some rapping here. So, yeah, that's what I got.
thank
So, thanks for
God,
playing that game.
Very good, Cassie.
So that's it. Now we're gonna go do breathwork,
Echt.
and then we record our second half then and talk about it
Yeah.
afterwards. But thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Thank you. This has been really nice to have a guest for the first time ever.
Yeah,
And
big
yeah,
milestone.
want to know if people want to hear more guests as well. Let us know.
Yeah,
Like, it's
let
obviously
us
a different
know.
format that we're trying. So yeah, we'll report back on the next bit.
Welcome back to part 2. Just for the video viewers, I know we went from a very professional setup to sitting under a duvet.
Pretending we're children.
Yeah, we took all the furniture from the house and have put it into this bedroom because the echo is bad.
Yeah. So this is what podcast is usually like. It's never in a studio. That was like
That was
kinda
once off.
once off for now. Yeah.
We might start doing it more though now because it was actually
It was
fun,
really
like,
good. Yeah, definitely.
But for now, we're just in this little blanket fort.
Yeah, it kind of looks like we're like commentators of a football match.
It does. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that. We could get big into that. I'm a sports fan.
We got back from breathwork
We did
yesterday.
it. We did it 2 days,
2 days ago. So we haven't really talked about it too much since. There was a bit of
No.
chat afterwards because we were with other people.
Yeah, there's been a bit of chat about the breathwork
Yeah.
because we went with our 2 housemates as well. So it was hard to avoid it and not talk about it at all.
Yeah. So we kind of have a bit of an idea. I think the one thing that we didn't talk about is should I bother doing it again?
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
didn't really go into detail too
Not
much
really, no.
about each of our experiences. But I think because part 1 we were talking to our guest, we didn't really get to have a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
So I think now would be good to do like an expectation versus reality,
Right.
and let's kind of honestly say to each other what our expectations were.
Okay. And now, do you mean expectation before we went to the studio, or do you mean while we were in the studio, or both?
I mean like expectation before you went into the breathwork.
Okay.
Before
right, so,
doing it in general, so before the studio, after the studio, whatever.
Okay.
Just in general, up till the minute you were walking in the door.
Okay.
What was your expectation? Or what
I
was
can
your
already tell by
mindset?
the kind of grin on your face. You're like, ah.
I'm like, come on, you can be honest. There's only us here now.
Yeah. I mean, like just as an activity, I kind of thought let's see what this is like. Because obviously people here have raved about it.
Yeah.
So
big Bali energy off breathwork.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, right, it should be. Especially it was a guy called Pierce he's very skeptical about all these things. And he was saying people that are skeptical have tried it and loved it. So I was like, right, okay, I'm open to this.
Exactly.
Then we did the thing with kegs.
Yeah.
And it sounded interesting. But I was also, kegs is a lot more spiritual than I am.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of felt because of that, is this only going to be something for someone who's very spiritual?
Getcha.
You know, like I don't know, because I feel very skeptical about all that sort of stuff. So I still don't know like how much I'm going to get out of this. Like, so I'm not really sure. After we chatted to kegs, I was curious more than anything, but I was maybe even more skeptical because I really thought it's just like, oh, you need to be spiritual and healing and all that sort of stuff that I'm just like, whatever, you know. So I'm not sure, even though, you know, Kegs really explained it really well and all the rest. So like going into the session, I was still open-minded, but like I didn't really think, I kind of thought it'd just be like a deep meditation. Yeah. And we're not really going to get much from this, like, you know, so I didn't think it'd be that different or whatever, you know, especially when he was talking about ayahuasca and all these kind of like intense things. It was like, it's not really, it's not going to compare to anything like that, you know. So I kind of thought, this is going to be maybe just a whatever kind of episode, like so. How about you?
I think I was quite skeptical to begin with because I was like, okay, you're just sitting there breathing. Yeah. How can it actually be that transformative and like powerful and everything? Yeah. I was just like, I just don't buy it. I don't believe it. After we spoke to Kegs, I definitely believed it a bit more because I think he's very passionate about it. So that definitely rubbed off on me a bit, that I was like, right, he's coming from a place where he did have anxiety as well and was trying to make himself feel better, and this was a good tool. Right. So having heard that and spoken to him, I was definitely more open going in, but still skeptical. Like a bit more open, as in I was 10% before and then maybe I was 20 or 30% before talking to him, out of a possible 100% being positive about it.
Do you think that's because you're a people pleaser?
Potentially.
I thought you were going to be like, what?
No, very, very potentially.
Okay.
But no, I think when you listen to anybody talk passionately about something, you're going to start believing them a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
suppose. So that was rubbing off on me.
I felt a bit like that after speaking to Kegs, but it was just how spiritual everything was. I was maybe a little bit less, I don't know, I had lower expectations or something then because I really didn't believe it even more.
You're just not a spiritual person. So
I was more curious after speaking to Kegs.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
But I just thought like this is only going to be for people that are as spiritual as him.
Getcha. Yeah.
Which I'm not. So I'm like, right.
Yeah, I getcha. But I was definitely, I think I was less scared after talking to him as well, because I was more scared beforehand. Now, don't get me wrong, before I went in, I was definitely still scared. Right. But like not to the severity I was before we spoke to him.
But like,
so I think that helped.
On a scale of 1 to scaredy absolutely, cat. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to scaredy cat. Where were you? Like,
I was probably sitting around a 7, which is high enough.
Oh shit! Right, you were really afraid of it then.
Yeah, I was quite scared because it's just like, what? Like you're hyperventilating.
Yeah.
I spend most of my time trying not to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, why am I going into a situation where I do it? But Kegs was like, you can just take a break if you need to, and that kind of planted a seed in my head that I was like, look, like at the very least, I'll go in and I'll just lie there and meditate and just be part of it all, and I might get something out of it. It's an hour of like not looking at my phone or whatever, you know. I was like, at the very least, it'll just be a bit of relaxation. So that's kind of where I left off after speaking to him.
Okay.
So then we'll go into our reality of what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll start to set the scene and then you can say what your experience was.
Very, very good of you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just carry this podcast like. But so we went to Kegs's villa, stunning villa. So
really nice.
That was a really nice setting for the whole experience. There was 5 of us. 4 of us knew each other, and then another girl that didn't know us but was taking part as well. And we all sat in a circle with like a really nice kind of flower display in the middle. And we talked about how we were and what we were kind of bringing to the experience. So I kind of talked about like body image and like just kind of accepting my body as it is and not trying to lose weight and stuff. Like that's kind of what was in my head going into it.
Okay.
Yeah, do you remember? You're looking at me like, this is brand new information.
No, I'm thinking like, because he said, how's your week? Have you been thinking of anything? And then it was also, what's something you want to get rid of and what's something you want to focus on? Was that, so what was the thing that you wanted to focus on or get rid of? Was that body image or what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Was it both or one of them?
Both of what? I want to focus on and get rid of.
Yeah, okay. Right. So
I was just like, that's the thing. It's a big issue at the moment. So I was like, right, I'm going to focus on that.
Yeah.
And this'll, if it works, it'll just fucking cure me completely.
Yeah.
If not, at least I'll have thought about it a little while. But yeah, so do you want to explain the next part then?
All right, yeah. So, well, actually, you forgot to mention as well, another thing that I don't really buy, but I don't know, maybe there's something to it. I think it's one of those things where, like, you believe it or not, you know, if Kegs is very spiritual, so this is kind of a thing that he'd probably get a lot of value from, but I didn't really, was the whole sage, and what was the other thing?
Oh yeah, like sage to cleanse, and then there was another herb to bring positive energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So look, again, it's one of those things that, like,
yeah, I don't really. I know a lot of people sage their houses and sage their environment. I've never had the kind of urge to do it.
Yeah.
I've never done it, so I don't really.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I just kind of thought, like, you know, we're kind of just burning something here and putting it around your body, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's not something that I'd get anything out of.
Yeah, same.
But I feel like with a lot of these things, whether it's tarot cards or burning sage or whatever,
yeah,
it's just more about how you mentally think about it. You
yeah,
know?
like I suppose it's nice because they smell nice.
Yeah, well, do they?
Well, no, sage kind of reminded me of Christmas dinner.
Yeah, it smelled like burnt Christmas dinner.
I didn't think burnt. It's just normal Christmas dinner. Maybe my Christmas dinner is always burnt.
Come on, Anna.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. Sorry, ma'am, your Christmas dinners are elite. But yeah, I think it probably is a mental thing that you're like taking a moment to be like, right, cleanse the old, bring in the new.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that wouldn't be.
I wouldn't get anything out of it, you know, like I don't really know what to expect. Are you supposed to feel more positive after or whatever? To me, it's just like, we've decided to just burn this thing, and then that means something, you know. So
yeah, I don't really believe it, but I also like the ritual of it, if you know what I mean. Like I don't think it actually does anything for your energy, but I think it's just a nice little thing to do.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, fair, okay.
Like maybe it's like a grounding thing because you're getting the smells and like taking you out of your head and into your senses.
Yeah. Oh,
I know.
Whoa.
Anyway, go on. I'm dying to talk about the next part. And I think people will be surprised to hear about the next part, the reality.
Right.
Well, no, we're already talking about the reality, but I think people are going to be just surprised to hear it.
Okay, right. Hopefully now there's not someone sitting at home at the end of this being like, well, that wasn't surprising at all.
Sorry. Expectations are way too high.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Like, this next bit will shock you. So we just lay down on yoga mats pretty much. We all had a pillow.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird thing because, so you have to breathe in. You're never breathing through your nose.
No.
And you're never really breathing slowly. It's kind of like there's a 2 breath and a 3 breath.
Yeah, so at the very start we lay down and we started with the 2 breath.
Yeah.
So it's just like like in and out quickly.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, exactly.
So that's to kind of get you started. You open your mouth, you breathe into your belly, and you kind of make a sound. So you're like, and I thought it sounded like a gecko at the beginning because the geckos are like,
That was a good gecko.
Is it? And that part was grand. And then we moved into the 3 breath.
Yeah, so the 3 breath is when you kind of do.
Yeah.
And
so you breathe into your belly, your chest, and then out. And there's no gaps.
There's no gaps.
So
You're just
it's not
this.
like and like you stop.
Yeah,
it's continuous. And like that was intense to get
it was very intense.
To get the rhythm of it.
The other thing as well that we did was we all had a pillow and we needed to scream into it.
I fucking loved that.
Yeah, but we had to practice that at the start. I felt a bit weird doing that.
Yeah,
same. It was like, am I going to scream the loudest here? And everyone's like, Jesus, would he shut the fuck up?
No one else will do it on 3.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be the only one screaming.
Yeah. So I thought that was a bit weird, but like I was interested to see where this is going to go, and I kind of thought, right, we're just going to be breathing. What, like,
yeah,
what the fuck? What difference could this make?
Yeah.
You know, breathing in a different way. I don't know how long we were doing it for.
I've no concept.
No, it felt like maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah, and the whole time we were doing the 3 breaths, so
Yeah.
into your belly, into your chest, out,
Yeah.
mouth open.
So I think the best way to describe it for me anyway was just escalation. I started to feel dizzy,
Yeah.
lightheaded. Then I had that moment of not panic but worry, being like, geez, we never looked into if this is dangerous or not. You know, it felt like your body's, or at least your head, or, you know, you're starting to get these feelings internally that something's up, you know, like this is not good.
Yeah.
So I had that initial worry of like, fuck, are we after biting off more than we can chew here?
It's your body trying to protect you because it's such a fucking weird thing to do.
Such a weird fucking thing.
Yeah.
And as it went more and more, it just got way more intense.
Yeah.
Like my hands curled up, like you'll see in this time lapse or whatever that we call up on Instagram, that you'll see people's like hands moving up and stuff like this. So it's like you're getting too much oxygen into your body, and then it's going to your vital organs rather than your kind of extremities, like your hands and feet and everything.
Yeah. And then your hands just kind of lose control and feeling.
Yeah. And feeling, the weirdest, like I had a sore wrist at the end of it because it was just really like
mine
claw.
were kind of my arms. I was throwing my arms up. I don't know why, and I was like, why am I throwing my arms up? And I was just like, I don't know. My body was just like, throw them up constantly. So I was like putting my arms out like this, or else going up or whatever. And then towards the end, I couldn't really do it anymore, and my hands were just stuck like this.
Stiff.
And severe pins and needles, and then just numb.
Yeah, the best way I can describe mine is, and I think I was saying this already, like if you ever wrap a rubber band around your hand, finger, anything, and just keep going tighter and tighter with it. It felt like that around, maybe there was like 4 or 5 on each finger, one around my wrist. The weird thing about all of it was it was involuntary. Do you know, the whole thing was involuntary. And the more breathing we do, the more you go like, and you'd make this noise, which is really weird.
Yeah.
So,
and Kegs is explaining that as like, that's letting the energy out, because if you're making noise, it's creating like vibrations in your body, which is letting more and more energy out.
Yeah. Which, again, when we start talking about energies and chakras and things like this, because he was doing Reiki in the middle of all of it as well.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I kind of just felt like I was getting a few kind of digs in the stomach and on the shoulders and stuff, which didn't oddly stop me from going and stuff like that. Like it was you were still kind of just in this rhythm of doing this thing over and over again, and I could just feel everything was just a bit like I was kind of frowning. My mouth was kind of stuck like a, you know, O kind of shape, and everything just felt involuntary. I don't know if I got too much out of this, like Reiki and stuff like that's maybe another episode that I still don't really buy all of the kind of energy stuff, you know. But again, it's kind of each to your own, you know. I think you'll get out of it whatever you maybe believe. I don't know enough about it. Yeah,
you just haven't had an experience to kind of prove it to you.
No, exactly. Yeah. So,
and I think that's a very easy one to be skeptical about, because it's like, what? You're not touching someone and that's happening?
Yeah. Like, so
I get that.
I don't know. Could be proven wrong. I'm not sure. But he was doing that throughout. And then it's weird because like you can hear everyone else making these noises. Yeah. You know? And like there was that. It was good that the music was loud, because I was hoping if this goes silent now, it's like when you're in class or mass or something else that rhymes with one of them. That, you know, you're whispering, you're chatting, and then everything goes silent. You're like, oh fuck, everyone can hear me.
Yeah.
I was hoping the music wouldn't go quiet, because when it did go a little bit quiet, then I felt like everyone would be like, yeah. So I didn't want to be the loudest in the room, like, do you know?
Do you think that's really annoying to listen to on the microphone?
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. Probably is like.
Probably.
I think we're just annoying to listen to.
Like definitely, actually. Like I find you annoying to listen to. I'm sure you find me annoying to listen to. So there's no way we're alone in that.
So yeah, like that. It was so fucking weird, and the whole way through, Kegs was saying just positive things like you're good enough and all of these kind of things. Like so. It was weird being able to hear other people, because everyone I think was making like different noises, you know. It kind of sounded a bit like orgasmic at times, like, you know, there was a bit of like a, you know, like, oh, okay, all right. So I know everyone was having like a different kind of experience, but really similar. It was just the weirdest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, that freaked me out a bit. So I was taking it easy. I was breathing slower than everybody, just to try, just ease myself into it and not be scared shitless. And I was like, that's grand. I'm still going to get some benefits. But then after a while, I got into it more and more. And I didn't believe that my monkey brain was going to switch off, or that part of my brain that's constantly like just chatting.
Yeah.
But it did. like I wasn't thinking about like my to-do list, what I'm doing later, what I'm eating.
Same,
like
yeah.
that all just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Which was so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because you're starving your brain of oxygen, obviously it just stopped. And I forgot the fear pretty quickly. I was just like, no, it's grand. I was like, I can stop whenever I need to. I'm just going to keep going. And then I just started smiling uncontrollably, and I smiled the whole way through.
Yeah.
My face was like, like this massive smile, my eyes closed, just being like, like I couldn't. I couldn't stop smiling, and my jaw was shaking after a while. Like my whole face was shaking and my jaw was sticking out, and like it was painful, but I tried to stop smiling and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
So that was weird. Then, as I said, I was throwing my arms up in the air, whatever. Then at one stage, then I kept getting this like really bright light in front of my eyes. Felt like Kegs was shining a torch in my eyes, but he wasn't even standing over me. Like really bright lights into my eyes. Don't know what that meant, but like just blinding white, even when my eyes were closed.
Yeah.
And then it would go again. And I was like, am I about to die? Is this like the gates of heaven? Isn't that what's supposed to happen? People say like, don't go towards the light.
Yeah.
So that was weird. And then at one stage, I got like, so Kegs was walking around doing his Reiki, and he had his hand kind of hovering over my stomach.
Yeah.
He wasn't touching me, and I started to get sharp stabbing pains right below where his hand was on my stomach.
Well, like compare like the pains to something else that I can understand.
It was like when you're gonna like have the shits, and you just get like a sharp kind of out of nowhere pain. Like you don't have a pain before that, but you kind of go like, do you like that? But it was right down the front of my stomach, kind of around my belly button.
Right.
And it was just sharp, sharp, sharp. And then it was happening when his hand was hovering over me, and then he kind of like touched it, because like he told us beforehand he was going to touch us if we were comfortable. And then he started like rubbing the place where the pain was.
Right.
And then the pain just was gone.
Oh.
And I instantly needed to pee. Even though I'd peed right before it, and I actually felt dehydrated.
Right.
So like, was there some weird trapped energy in my bladder? Which would make sense because I constantly need to pee.
Right, okay.
So that was so fucking weird. And I've never had any experience of Reiki or believed in it or whatever. But that in that moment, I was like, something happened there that I can't explain. That feels too big to be a coincidence. Weird.
That is interesting, yeah.
But anyway, then I continued, and I just was constantly getting this feeling like I wasn't really seeing visions or anything like that, or having too much thoughts. I just felt the most bliss I've probably ever felt. Like I just felt bliss.
Jesus, that's a great way of describing it.
Yeah, I just felt pure bliss. And like some people feel bliss, some people don't, whatever. Like, and I didn't expect I would, but I think it was a combination of just letting myself do it and not being too scared to do it. And then kind of feeling like, now I can do anything if I can do this. Like, look at me, I'm in the middle of hyperventilating and I'm grand.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm actually a tough bitch. And I kept getting this feeling.
Yeah.
And the only way I can describe it is I was calling me back into myself.
Right.
And like this, like...
But what do you mean by that?
I don't know who I am right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've obviously been in Bali for too long, because I'm just like, am I actually saying these things?
Yeah.
And obviously it's kind of an ego thing to be like, I'm not someone that believes in all that shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like a lot of our previous episodes have been based on kind of thinking like that.
But when you say calling yourself back into yourself,
I
like,
was just kind of like, there was something in me being like, it's okay. You can be who you are. You can show up as you are. You're perfect. Like that kept going through my head, being like, you're perfect. Your body's perfect. You're you. And this is it. This is life right now. Not in a few years when you lose weight. This is it. And it was just felt like, come back. No, you're grand. It was so weird. It was so, and I was buzzing off my tits. I was just like, I couldn't believe what was happening.
It's different for everyone as well, because Jason, our housemate, he was saying he felt like his granny was...
Yeah, he felt people around him.
He felt people
standing over him, watching him.
The other girl that was there, she was seeing like loads of shapes and different things as well. So like she had a completely different thing. I didn't really see anything. I think I was more fixated on the sensation of my hands and everything like that. I felt a bit more like, let's go. Like, you know, when you're in the middle of a CrossFit class or something, or when you're in the middle of, I don't know, it could be a match or it could be a whatever, that you're just kind of like, come on to fuck, let's go.
Yeah.
I felt that kind of sensation, but I don't know if I translated it into anything, just more of like a, right, let's get shit done kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's really good, like, isn't it?
But Kegs was saying each time you do it is different.
Yeah.
You know, so I would wonder if I was to do this enough, will you get to the point of like visions and all these kind of things? I don't know. Or is it just a type of person that you are?
Well, I'd say every time you do it, you probably let go more and you'd breathe deeper and you'd have a more intense experience, because I definitely was still guarding myself. I did breathe through my nose a couple of times. I took a sip of water because I had extreme cotton mouth from breathing through my mouth.
Yeah.
Now that I've done it and I was like, okay, it was grand.
Yeah.
The next time I do it, or like if I was to do it again, I definitely feel more comfortable to push myself. So I think that's probably where it's different every time, because you can push yourself to a new level.
Yeah. I think like when I made sure not to breathe through my nose, because at the start I was a bit like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to see this through, because I'm starting to feel a bit weird.
Yeah.
But the more we did it, the more I felt like I just want to breathe in even harder now. I want to kind of see where this is going to go, you know? Like, so then towards the end, we went back to the 2 breath. We kind of chilled out a little bit more. And then there was the whole, imagine you're in a green field.
Yeah, we did a meditation then at the end of it. Yeah.
And you're walking into a room and there's a screen of all the things you're in your past that you're proud of. Yeah. You walk into another room, there's someone there you're really grateful of, and everything was just so emotional.
So emotional. We were all bawling.
What do you say bawling? I was tearing up now. I wasn't bawling now, but
I was fully bawling. Like I was hegging, like I was shaking, crying.
Please explain what hegging means to people.
Everyone knows what hegging is.
Nobody knows.
No, hegging is when you're like, and then I went and saw this person. Going like that is hegging.
I thought it was more of like a
it is actually. It's like
yeah.
It's a heg.
It's a heg, yeah.
It's a heg. Yeah, that was a really emotional moment, thinking of someone that's telling you they're proud of you, and I was so bawling, like I couldn't cope.
I can't remember the last time I was in this such a really vulnerable feeling, you know, like everything you felt like you're in this really vulnerable state, that you've just been through this fucking weird, strong thing. It's just so hard to describe. Like,
you feel just raw. And you feel wide open. It was so vulnerable. Like, we were all crying, and then we were all hugging and telling each other we loved each other, and like it was like we were all high.
It was like we were all high.
But
were you going around saying to everyone, I love you?
Yeah.
The way you described this, I was like, were you in a different room there? Because like,
but we were all hugging each other.
Oh, we were all hugging, yeah.
And I was just like, love you to everyone.
Whisper in their ear like, I love you.
I love you so much. But that's how I felt though, because I was like, this is such a fucking weird thing to do in a room full of people, like crying,
really
breathing, having spasms basically. I was like, this is so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And like so weird as an Irish person, especially. Like it's breaking through a lot of walls to get to that point in front of other people.
Yeah.
So I felt really connected to everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. You feel an odd connection to everyone you just did it with. 'Cause you're like, and everyone's looking at each other being like, what the fuck just happened here?
Yeah,
like,
everyone was like, what was that?
Yeah, it was weird because whenever we were in that gratitude thing, I could hear everyone crying, you know, like it was just such a weird experience. Like, and then afterwards we sat down and we all chatted about our experience and how it was and stuff like that, and you really chilled. Like my shoulders were so relaxed. Everything was just
stop. It felt like I was melting a little bit.
Yeah, melting.
Like it genuinely felt like you did get energy out of your body.
Yeah, it did.
You know?
Like it just, I don't know. Every time we talk about energy, I'm always a bit like,
Well, like not even just energy. So it genuinely felt like you got emotions and stuff moving, like tension.
Yeah.
So you had tension in your shoulders, tension in your hips. Like I was kind of shaking at times and then breathing. It's like it did feel like things were starting to move, and my body just didn't feel as stuck, let's say, as it had felt before that.
Yeah.
I felt like a noodle after. I was just like like flopping around.
Yeah, like one of those things you see outside the garage stuff. Like waving all around.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Okay, right, we've talked about kind of everything now and experience and everything, but like in comparison to expectation versus reality, what's the opinion in reality now? So you were skeptical, you were like, I don't know if it's going to work. Where do you stand now?
Where do I stand now? still a little bit skeptical about, you know, energies and chakras and stuff like that. I don't think it's really changed that much for me. But in terms of actual breath work, you know, from chatting to Kegs beforehand, I thought, if I'm not that spiritual, I'm not going to get enough from this. Then from actually doing it, like, it's one of the weirdest and probably best things I've ever done. Like, it was really,
I can't believe you're saying that.
I know, yeah.
I'm so happy.
It was just, I kind of thought as well, because Kegs is so spiritual, that maybe this is just going to be like a spiritual meditation, whatever. But then coming out of it, I was like, fuck, he really knows what he's doing here. You know,
he has something a bit special when it comes to it, I think, doesn't he?
Like the whole thing, I really walked away respecting him, being like, Jesus, he's fucking knows what he's at here.
He makes you feel really calm.
Yeah.
And then throughout the whole thing, he's like an inspirational speaker, like, being like, who would you be without the things holding you back? And he's kind of shouting, and you're like, yeah, who the fuck would I be without all this stupid shit, like, holding me back? And you really start to be like, Jesus, is he my guru now?
He was dressed like a guru, like, yeah. So, or like a cult leader or something. I'm not sure what it was, but it was like,
no offense, Kegs.
Yeah, no, definitely no offense. Like, but it was, I really walked away being like, holy fuck, like, he's onto something here.
Yeah,
you know, and there's a reason he does it so much. You know?
Yeah, there is.
So yeah, that was my, you know, expectations. Not going to get much from this. Reality, holy fuck, what just happened? We'll definitely do this again.
Yeah.
What about you?
Like, I feel like my mind blew open in a way. Like, I kind of thought I was open-minded. I was definitely like a bit skeptical about things, as I am about a lot of things. But this just blew my mind in a way that I just really wasn't expecting it. Like, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Why have we not been doing this before?
Yeah.
I was just like, I felt like a natural kind of euphoria, like just this kind of high after it. I felt like I got things moving in my body. Since then, I feel really grounded.
Yeah.
Like, probably because I feel tired as well. So I just feel kind of heavy and I feel kind of grounded. But like, and maybe the effects will wear off in a few days and it'll be a case that you want to do it again. But I don't really feel stressed.
No, I don't feel stressed either.
I don't really feel anxious. I don't like... And like, we just booked a flight yesterday, and usually that's the kind of thing that would send me off into spiral. No.
Yeah.
I had literally no reaction to it, which lovely. I was so surprised. So good for you, for once. And I feel really dramatic saying all of this.
Well, I was just going to say that. I think if I was sitting at home listening to this, I'd be like, right,
it can't be that good.
It can't be that good. You've definitely just fucking fallen in, because Bali is all about this, you know, healing, blah blah blah, which I would have been skeptical about. I'm like, right, you've just been there too long, and
exactly
that's exactly how I've been thinking. And even when your man Pierce was saying it to us about how people are skeptical and they do it, they love it, even then I was like, I don't really believe that.
I didn't either.
This is one of the activities that it just takes doing to fully believe it and be like, holy fuck, what is this?
Yeah.
So it's the weirdest thing we've done so far.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing we've done so far.
Yeah, I'd put up there. I do love a cooking class, like, you know.
I know, but this was just this was so weird. Like, it was so unusual, so surprising. Just such a journey over a few days.
Yeah.
But I would 1,000,000% do it again.
I would as well, yeah.
Absolutely no questions asked. I'm looking forward to doing it again. The only thing is, I think you need to plan when to do it so that you don't really have much going on the next day or two.
Yeah, fair.
Or you don't need to be too productive. So I think that's the only downside.
Yeah.
Is that I felt really drained for 2 days now and haven't really achieved much. So, but if it's like you do it over the weekend or whatever, like, then it's probably grand.
I think it's safe to say then, should I bother? If you have the chance to do this,
do it.
100%. Like, how many should I bother means? Fucking 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. What the fuck?
I know, that's so weird.
Who are we?
I don't know.
I can't cope with us right now.
I know, yeah. And I think if I was listening to us now, I'd be like, geez, would these two shut the fuck up?
I'd be so annoyed,
like,
yeah.
I'd be like, will you shut up? Like,
the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Weird. But with breathwork, in comparison to a lot of other spiritual things, there's a lot of evidence-based facts. There's a lot of science and evidence behind it.
Yeah.
It is a tangible thing that they can measure around, like, taking in 2 to 3 times more oxygen into your body and the effects that can have of starving yourself of carbon dioxide. Isn't that it?
That's the thing, yeah.
So I think that helps me accept it more. because I'm like, oh, there's actually something tangible to show that it's real.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you're going to be changing up like your but is body composition the right thing to say? I'm not really sure, but you're going to be changing yourself physically in some way through the oxygen, kind of like plant medicine. You know that.
Yeah.
If you're going to have ayahuasca, or if you're going to, you know, smoke weed or something, you're going to alter the way you feel. You know. Yeah,
you're altering your state.
And I think if you're doing breath work, you're also going to alter your state. That's why when it comes to things like Reiki and that, it's just, I don't know, that's definitely an episode. I'd be more open to trying things like that now as a result of doing this.
Same.
But I still don't know, like someone hovering their hand over it.
It's way less tangible than breath work.
Yeah.
Like.
Or Kundalini, a lot of people are mad for Kundalini here, which I don't know about either. Like that's people, we'll put up a video on Instagram of what that looks like. If you've never heard of Kundalini, it's not a pasta, which it sounds like. It's another one of these things. So I'd be open to trying it, but I find it very hard to believe that someone not touching you can make you shake and all this stuff. So
exactly.
I don't know. It's interesting, but this breath work, definitely there's a physical change, and that kind of impacts how you feel mentally. Yeah.
And what I would say as well is it seems to be something so it's had a surge during the pandemic and everything it was saying. So I think wherever you are, wherever you're living, I think you should be able to find a breathwork class or something that you can go to. Yeah. There's different types of breathwork. It mightn't be the exact same as we did, but if you can go to one just to see if you believe us or not, or like to see for yourself, basically, if you're like skeptical like we were, do it.
That's pretty much it. We're going to be putting up things about breathwork online, like on Instagram. I'm a bit behind on blog posts and stuff as well, so like, you know, kind of articles and stuff related to this, so we will be getting on that in the next few weeks. But keep an eye on at Should I Bother Pod on Instagram
and TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, I think Instagram's kind of our main one. And then we've
Facebook.
We've got Facebook as well, if you're not on Instagram. Yeah. And shouldibother.com is our website. Check us out on that. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Obviously, this is a different format. I don't think we'll have a guest every week, but if you did like the format with a guest, let us know, because we'll definitely get on more.
Yeah, and we're still, because it's our first time, we're very like in need of feedback.
Yeah, 100%.
To let us know if it's good or not. We need to hear anything constructive.
We'll throw up a poll
not just
on
mean.
Instagram on one of our stories. So just let us know, like a guest or not like a guest. Let us know.
Up to you.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for listening. A bit longer than usual, but hopefully you stuck with us. And what the fuck?
What the fuck?
We're changed people, lads.
Yeah, we're new lads.
We got sucked into Bali.
Yeah.
Good thing we're leaving next week.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Ground us again.
Right.
Bye bye.